So thank you for attending the presentation. My name is Bhargavan, and it's my pleasure to represent Ondot Systems here today. The basic premise of Ondot is very simple. Pretty much everybody has a credit or debit card, and most everybody has a smartphone. So what we've created is a solution that allows consumers to remotely control their existing payment cards from their mobile phone. So what this means to you as a card holder is that from a smartphone app, with a single touch, you have the ability to turn that card, your existing plastic card and your online transactions, on or off. You can specify when, where, and how the cards are used. So we've developed a solution as a white label solution that we sell to financial institutions and card processors, issuer card processors, so that you brand it and deliver it either as a branded standalone application or integrate it into your existing mobile banking app. So let's talk a little bit in terms of what the app is capable of. So at this point, what you see on the screen is the landing page, and it shows two cards, mine and my daughter's, linked accounts and associated balances. So I will now go and tap my card. And what it does is brings up the card details. I can tap on the card and see card details such as, my spending limits, etc. And as you can see, this card is on. So now with a single tap, I can turn this card off, just so. So right now, this payment card cannot be used at a point of sale, real or online. When I want to turn it back on, I just tap, and just so. It's instant and hopefully intuitive, single touch. So this is ultimate control. So the next stage really is to talk about how we provide more nuanced controls, allowing consumers to specify for their own cards as well as their dependents when, where, and how the cards can be used. So we support 4 dimensions: location, transaction type, merchant type, and threshold amounts. So let's go over each. So let's start with the transaction types. So what you see here is essentially my card, where it's enabled for in-store transactions, e-commerce, and ATM, but disabled for other types of transactions. Now, I don't shop online very often, so I'm just going to turn off e-commerce. And at this point, I cannot do e-commerce transaction with this card or the associated credentials. When I want to turn it on and do a transaction, online transaction, that's it. So now let me go and talk a little bit in terms of the merchant types, the next category we are considering here. So if I give my daughter a card, I can say this card can be used at department stores, gas stations, groceries, and restaurants, but not for entertainment, and I can turn off age-restricted merchant establishments, for example. So it gives you merchant level or category level control. So the next category is threshold. And as you can imagine intuitively, the threshold is essentially allowing you to specify limits amounts up to which purchases can be made, either on an individual transaction basis or weekly or monthly. So now let's get to the most interesting one, which is location. Now I have a couple choices here. For my own card, I can set my location. And when I do that, I'm basically saying this card is active around me. We leverage the power of mobile to correlate the device location with the transaction location. If there is a correlation, proof positive user is there. If not, strong indicator of potential fraud, transaction denied. There's another capability for location control, which is my region. And what that does is essentially brings up a map. Now what I'm going to do is just pinch that map in or out, and the region that you see on the map is in fact the region where transactions can be conducted on the card. So multiple use cases. One, I can give this card to my daughter and basically pull up a region so she can use the card, for example, in the San Francisco Bay Area, but can't skip over to Las Vegas for the weekend and splurge. And clearly you could do something like this as a business owner for your employees as well, right? So what I try to do now is show you this in action. As you can see, I've set a region preference. And then I can set a charge. And as soon as I do a charge, basically this charge got denied. And the reason it got denied is I'd set my preference to New York, And of course, this transaction is being done in San Jose. So I can turn this off and run the transaction again. And what you see at this point is the charge got posted. So note that this is not simply an on-off example that I showed you. I showed you a more nuanced, advanced control where the same card was enabled for some cases, but disabled for others. And the second implicit part of this demo, I hope you saw that these alerts are instant. They're also interactive. If you didn't do a transaction, you can initiate a dispute, but if you did do a transaction, you can manage it so. So you see basically the transaction receipt. You can tag it. You can annotate it. You can take pictures of receipts, and you can email it for instant reimbursement or for record keeping. Now, we don't have time to go into the details of post-transaction management, but please do come to our booth. We'll be happy to show you that. So now let's put all this together. Right? So what I've tried to show you today is the ability for you to bring a card-centric solution to your cardholders, to augment what you're already doing on the mobile banking side. Now, a card-centric solution allows your cardholders proactive control over their cards in addition to interactive alerts and transaction managements that you may already have. So the benefit to consumers is increased confidence and engagement, which drives up card usage. And our customer data shows that financial institutions are able to save up to 60% in fraud and increase their direct card revenue over 50%. Case study is in our website. So we'd love to discuss this more with you and replicate these kind of results in your environment. Please do stop by the booth. My colleagues and I are standing by. Thank you.